January 15th, 2026. TESS locks onto 3I Atlas. 7 days of observation, scheduled, approved. Systems armed. Within hours, blackout, safe mode, full shutdown, feed killed. Out of 168 hours, only 28 survive. NASA calls it a command error, but the timing is surgical because between January 15th and January 18th, something happened in the sky that has no precedent in cometary science. The Sun, the Earth, and 3I Atlas aligned. A perfect opposition geometry. And the object flared. Here's what Hubble saw while TESS was conveniently blind. A brightness surge. 0.2 magnitudes, statistically significant, measured, published, buried in the photometric tables of a paper that appeared on arXiv on January 30th. 0.2 magnitudes now. That number means nothing until you understand what causes it. Opposition surges are observed on asteroids, on planetary rings, on airless solid surfaces, dense bodies, hard structures. They are not observed on comets. The researchers say it themselves. Among the few comets studied in this regime, none have exhibited a distinct opposition effect. None. Not one comet in the history of observation has done what 3I Atlas just did. The dust surrounding this object does not scatter light like a fluffy ice halo. It scatters light like a solid surface, like a dense debris field, like rings, or like a hull. TESS would have captured this in high-cadence photometry, frame by frame, second by second. The optical fingerprint of an object reflecting light like metal, not like snow. And TESS went dark, right on cue. Let's talk about what they don't want you to calculate. For years, the establishment leaned on a comfortable assumption. Interstellar visitors are rare. Oumuamua was a fluke. Borisov was a coincidence. The solar system is quiet. This paper ends that assumption. The researchers calculated the probability that no objects of 3I Atlas's size passed through the inner solar system between the mid-1990s and 2017. The number 10 to the negative 13. 1 in 10 trillion. Let that register. The probability that we were alone in the inner system for 2 decades, with no interstellar visitor of this class passing through, is 1 in 10 trillion. Effectively zero. The paper concludes, in plain language, that it is highly probable that several 3I-like interstellar objects passed through the inner solar system undetected. Several. Not one. Several. Kilometer-class bodies. Crossing inside Jupiter's orbit. During the decades, we had wide-field surveys running. During the years, we were watching the sky every single night, and we saw nothing. Not because they weren't there, because they were silent, inactive, dark, cold, no coma, no tail, no outgassing signature to trigger our detection algorithms, no brightness spike to flag in the automated surveys. They were invisible, by default or by design. We built our entire planetary defense framework around the assumption that threats announce themselves, that they glow, that they leave trails. 3I Atlas only became visible because it vented, because it activated near the sun, because something inside it turned on. The silent ones, the ones that stayed dark, sailed right through. We are not sitting in a void. We are sitting in a traffic lane, and our sensors are built to detect cell phones, while stealth fighters pass overhead in absolute silence. Now the configuration. Because this is where coincidence dies. We now have 2 confirmed interstellar objects with detailed data. Oumuamua and 3I Atlas. Different sizes, different years, different trajectories. Same blueprint. The shape. Oumuamua was elongated, famously so. A cigar or a disc. Aspect ratio of at least 6:1. The scientific world argued about it for years. Called it a natural fluke. A pancake, a shard of nitrogen ice. 3I Atlas, 2.6 kilometers, shows light curve variations that demand an axis ratio of at least 2:1. The cigar shape returns, not once, twice, from two objects that originated in different star systems billions of kilometers apart. Nature creates spheres. Gravity pulls mass inward. Rotation flattens it. The equilibrium shape of a natural body is round, or oblate, or irregular. Not elongated, not cylindrical, not the same configuration. Twice, the thrust. Oumuamua accelerated away from the sun. No visible outgassing, no coma. No explanation that survived peer review without controversy. 3I Atlas. Same signature. The orbital solution confirms a statistically significant non-gravitational acceleration. The object is not moving on gravity alone. Something is pushing it. The asymmetry. On its inbound approach, 3I Atlas brightened steadily, active, scanning, shedding material, growing in luminosity as it neared the sun. On its outbound leg, it faded faster than any thermal model predicts. The activity index dropped from 3.8 to 4.5. Not a gradual cooling, a rapid shutdown. It turned on the lights coming in. It killed the lights going out. The paper calls this an activity asymmetry. The pattern says something else. Controlled flight. Now connect the timelines. Because isolated anomalies are easy to dismiss, a pattern is not. October the 29th, 2025. Perihelion 3I Atlas reaches closest approach to the sun. Maximum heating, maximum activity, December 15th and 27th, 2025. Webb captures spectroscopy. Methane appears. A molecule that should have been detected months earlier. Nickel dominates the metal spectrum. Iron vanishes between observation windows. January 15th to 18th, 2026. Opposition alignment. The object surges in brightness. TESS goes blind. Hubble records the flash. January 22nd, 2026. Full opposition. The surge peaks at 0.2 magnitudes, an angular width of 3 degrees. Predicted to the decimal in a paper published before the event. January 30th, 2026. The paper drops on Archive. The data is public. The opposition surge is confirmed. The ghost fleet probability is published, and no one in the mainstream says a word. No press conference, no emergency panel, no congressional hearing. A 1 in 10 trillion statistical impossibility. A brightness behavior never observed in any comet. A telescope shutdown during the critical 72-hour window. And silence. The kind of silence that is louder than any announcement. Here is what we are left with. An interstellar object, 2.6 kilometers long, entered our solar system at 60 kilometers per second. It displayed the same elongated geometry as Oumuamua. It accelerated under non-gravitational forces, like Oumuamua. It brightened on approach and shut down on departure, like a system completing a pass. It flared during opposition, a behavior documented in solid bodies and metallic surfaces, never in comets. Its chemical signature shifted between observation windows, nickel without iron, methane without precedent, and the one instrument that could have captured the surge in real time was conveniently shut off. The probability that no similar object has visited before is 1 in 10 trillion, which means the ghost fleet is not a theory. It is a statistical certainty. Kilometer-class interstellar bodies, elongated, accelerating, luminously asymmetric, have been crossing through our solar system for decades, perhaps centuries, unseen, untracked, unacknowledged. And the data is being managed. The void does not redact itself. People do. In somewhere between the safe mode error and the published photometry tables, a choice was made. A choice about what the public gets to see and when. 3I Atlas surged during opposition. That is a fact. No comet in history has done this. That is a fact. TESS went dark during the exact 72-hour window. That is a fact. The ghost fleet probability is 1 in 10 trillion against absence. That is a fact. What you do with these facts is the only variable left. The object is heading for Jupiter. The window is closing. The next interstellar visitor is already inside the perimeter. Dark, silent, undetected. If this data moves something in you, if the numbers don't sit right, then you're not asleep. Stay that way. Subscribe. Because managed silence only works when no one is paying attention. And we are paying attention. Well, the curtain fell once, on January 15th. For 72 hours. It will not fall again. Not while we are watching. In Cosmos we trust.